Welcome to this edition of the Houston Roundball Review Takeover of the Lunch Break, sponsored by the Saxenian family. Bless them. They got this week and next week, and that'll be it. And I'll be looking for another sponsor for the rest of the season, rest of the year, and next year going forward. But I am, of course, Kris Gardner, owner of the Houston Roundball Review. This is Throwback Thursday, Friday Eve, powered by JM&E. Streaming live on YouTube at the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel. Also, Facebook, Houston Roundball Review. And of course, on Roku via the BS3 Network. If you have a Roku streaming device, just download BS3 TV. If not, just go to bs3network.com or bs3tvlive.com. Hope to be joined, 3-4 minutes by Miss Lauren Sampson. Coogs fans know her very well. She is, really responsible for a lot of the marketing promotions for the UH men's basketball program and how well it does in promotion and all those great things. And I want to ask Lauren about the upcoming basketball tip-off dinner that I think is scheduled for October 30th. So get her thoughts on that. Before she joins, good afternoon to Miss Wanda. Good afternoon to Rex. How are y'all doing? Thank you, as always, for your loyal support and dedication to this show. Spread the word, tell your friends about it. I'm going to do this more and more. And I'm going to say this, maybe a little delay because I'm doing this from my phone. My Wi-Fi provider in the neighborhood has been out since midnight. So they're working on it. They hope to have it resolved soon. That's nice to know. But as always, reminding everyone about the number of views this YouTube channel gets. You want to advertise on this show on the YouTube channel, email me at advertised@thehrr.com. And of course, ways to support the Roundball Review. I love Zelle. Zelle is great. Received some money via Zelle this morning. That's always a great thing. It's always great to receive money rather than send it out. But you can scan that QR code for the Cash App, scan it for the Zelle app, or scan it for PayPal as well. Okay, I finally got some news to share regarding Big 12 basketball tip-off, Basketball Media Day. They emailed it, about an hour ago. Let me see if I can get right to the slide here. There we go. Big 12 2024 Basketball Media Days taking place Tuesday, October 22nd for the women and Wednesday, October 23rd for the men at Kansas City's T-Mobile Center. I will be there, Lord willing. Everything's pointing to me being there. Coverage on the main set for the media days can be found on ESPNU and ESPN Plus. I'm assuming that means Big 12 now on ESPN Plus. I need to promote that better. From 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. each day. Alex Loeb and O'Neal and Hannah Wing will provide analysis for the women's event with exclusive coach and player interviews, while Chris Budden and Fran Fraschilla will join Wing on the men's side to provide unparalleled spotlight on the league. Big 12 Commish Brett Yormark will open media days with an 8:30 a.m. press conference on Tuesday. I'll miss it. I'll be at the airport, followed by a series of Q&A sessions with women's head coaches and student assets, moderated by Missy Heidrich. Wednesday will feature the men's head coach press conferences throughout the day, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. A feed of all press conferences and Q&A sessions will be available on ESPN Plus. And without further ado, as promised, she is so good at keeping her word. I'm going to bring her in right now. Miss Lauren Sampson, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm better now that you are with me and joining me on the show. You keep your word, and I respect that and appreciate that about you.
No problem.
Okay, one of the things I wanted to ask about is your annual soiree, shindig event that you put together. I think it's scheduled to take place on the 30th. Is that right?
Yes.
Talk about it. Add more info about the tip-off dinner.
The tip-off dinner. We sold it out before we announced it, which is kind of, I think, we're a tradition of ours right now with the tip-off dinner. November 30th at the UH Hilton, and we're honoring David Mars.
October 30th.
Yes, October 30th. I'm sorry, October 30th.
Whereas NC, one of my loyal viewers and supporters, Miss Wanda Polk, said she'll be there. So there you go.
You out.
As a guest of the Ruds. All right. How much work has been involved in this year's?
This one, same as always. It's always a bit of a moving target and figuring what we want to do. We definitely are in a routine. We have a template of what we want to do and how we do it, but there's always things that pop up.
And how many of these have you done now?
I believe this is my 9th.
Has it gotten any easier?
No. No, it has. It has. Before it was very much begging people to come, explaining who the program was, explaining who Coach Sampson was. And so we're past that a little bit. But there's always a lot of work and a lot of wrinkles that you have to iron out.
And you said it's sold out. How many people will attend?
Over 390.
Wow. So how does that compare to the first one?
Doesn't. That one, the first one we did was on the floor of Hoffines. That was the first one at UH. I was not here yet. I was the tough recruit, didn't come to that second season. But that first one was on the court of Hoffines. And what made that one magical, I think, for everyone was that Coach Guy V was at that one.
Okay.
So the first one was in 2014. And then we've just kind of, COVID, obviously, we didn't have one. And then there was 1 year we kind of did it in a different format.
So, okay. Well, what will be the format of this one on October 30th?
The same as always. So we did a funky format when we honored the game of the century. So we did it a bit of a different. This one, it turns into a roast at some point where we let Coach Sampson have the mic and let him rip.
And remind everyone, where is it going to take place?
The Hilton on campus. They do a great job.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay. What else is on your plate? I know your plate is always full.
It's always full. We're getting through, the fun preseason thing. So photo shoots, video shoots, getting graphics made, templates. So I'm kind of in that creative bubble right now.
Have I missed it? Are you doing the puppies and players thing again?
We already did. We did that in September.
Okay. So how was that?
Always great. It's just a fun day. And it's nice to see those kids a little bit outside their comfort zone. I always think that when teams do those get to know you player videos, I feel like it looks like a hostage video where all you want to do is like blink twice if you need some help. So I wanted to find a way where the kids get a little bit more relaxed and you get more fun answers and they're just more relaxed. So that's the way. And then we're all really passionate about adopting dogs. We've always had dogs we've adopted. So it just kind of goes both ways.
Any other players not like dogs or afraid of dogs?
They're all a lot of them, not all, but they're a little unsure of what's going to happen. And then, these are also puppies and so it all works out. Ryan Elvin was always a little scared of the dogs, but everyone else, this is game.
I must remember that when I see Coach Elvin next time. Okay. Yeah. All right. Question from another loyal viewer. Who's responsible for the jersey design this year?
Thank you. I helped. I designed the jerseys this year.
Of course. So what was involved in that?
There's a team, obviously, and Bobby Champagne in our office does the lion's share with our equipment. So but with these jerseys, I think everyone loves the throwbacks. We lovingly say that we threw them back to Elvin. And so we did a lot of research when we were doing that process and that project about the origins and how that uniform. And so I just wanted to modernize the retro jerseys, honestly, and then put them in all of our colorways.
And will those be for purchase?
Here's hoping. That's never us. That's campus.
Okay. Well, do you know how many, times those jerseys will be worn this season?
All of our jerseys now have the throwback. So they're all with the stripes down the side and around the bottom. We really wanted it to look a lot and have the feel of what the retros are. So the entire catalog this year has that look.
This is year 2 for you with Houston in the Big 12. What was year 1 for you at Houston in the Big 12?
It was great. It turned out great. it was really fun to kind of go into new arenas and new fan bases and new traditions. I'm always the crazy one on the road, on the court, watching what they're doing at timeouts, what they're doing in the stands, and the traditions all the other schools have. And you look and see what you can pick and choose and bring back home. The American Conference really did prepare us well for the Big 12. Those last 6 years in the American, I lovingly said we were a traveling circus where everywhere we went was going to be a sold out crowd, and it was going to be, hair on fire pandemonium. And so we were really, really well prepared for the Big 12. So last year was great to be in those environments. BYU was phenomenal. Baylor's new arena is beautiful. Kansas is a category into itself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited this year going to Texas Tech. I grew up going to Texas Tech, and the last couple of years we were at OU. We were in that arena. I've never been to West Virginia, so I'm really excited to see what West Virginia is. So it's always, road games are always fun. I always take a lot of notes.
And I think going to Arizona, right?
Yep. Grew up going to the Arizona schools. So Arizona State, when we were in the Pac-10 back in the day. So those were my youngest memories of going into arenas, with those old Pac-10 arenas.
You mentioned taking notes. What kind of thing are you looking at? What are you noticing, ideas that maybe you can bring to Houston?
Yeah, I like just wrinkles to things that everyone does that I like, whether it's placement of different timeouts, what they're doing at free throws. A lot of times, we're very, very, I'm going to lovingly say, stubborn with our game day and how we like our game day. I'm really passionate about college basketball. I think college basketball game days is not the NBA, and it shouldn't be the NBA, and we should not chase the NBA. The NBA does a phenomenal job. But college basketball is magic as far as I'm concerned. So I'm always looking, and I like ideas where it harkens me back to when I grew up going to these arenas, and I like those things to bring back.
I haven't asked you this question, at least in this way. What is your why for doing what you do?
My why is, one, competitive. So it's that, but honestly, it's the family dynamic, and it's not just the Sampsons, but it's everyone. And I feel like we're all in this boat and we're all going the same direction. And it's the idea of the accomplishment at the end of a season. But, my grandfather, who was a Hall of Fame coach, he always, always, always talked about the journey. And so my why is these journeys we take these kids on, and the memories that we have, and then when these kids come back. And so it's not just one why, it's so many whys, but it's really the journey.
And I remember, I guess it was last season, I was at practice, or I think it was at a practice, and the team sang and wish you happy birthday.
Yeah.
With the cake and stuff. So that was just another example of the family vibe and atmosphere. Who's the best singer on the team?
None of them. No, they're all great. I'm always so just mortally embarrassed that I'm not even paying that much of attention. I'm just trying to, okay, let's just get this over with. It's so nice and it's so sweet. And it's a tradition that has been my whole life.
Can you sing?
No.
Can your mom sing?
Yes.
Okay. How about your dad?
No.
Brother?
My mom is gifted. And she actually competed in beauty pageants, and her talent was singing.
Oh, wow. I'm okay. Next time I see her, I'm gonna just
She'll be embarrassed to know that I'm sharing that. But yes, she was.
Step to the side and ask her about that. That's a great little tidbit, Lauren. Thank you very much for that.
You're welcome.
And of course, I'll toss you under the bus for how I heard it. So, okay. Last thing for you. And this is, I'm kind of curious how you're going to answer this question. What is your early impression of this year's team?
This year's team, I'm going to say, is so joyful. I have such a different perspective than I think most people, and even anyone on our staff. But this is a really joyful team. This is a really connected team. It's a completely different team than last year's team. And so I'm really excited. Milos is great. Mercy and Chase they're all three just such great additions and bring some different dynamic to the team. But you also have Emmanuel emerging as a leader. You have LJ very much taking on that leadership role. J1 knowing that, you see J1 savoring these moments, going through the photo shoots and the video shoots, and he keeps saying, okay, this is my last one. And I keep giggling at him. I'm like, no, we're going to go do the Utah quarterback route. You got 2 more years. So, just the laughing and giggling, but it's, you see these kids stepping into their new roles. And so I'm excited to see this early season and how that translates to the court. But all of these kids have just taken on new roles now.
Thank you, Lauren, as always. I appreciate you taking time to be with me on this show. And will you be in Kansas City?
No.
Oh, okay.
Nope. I'll be back here gearing up for the tip-off dinner. I've got graphics to make.
All right. And then I guess the last thing, remind everybody when the tip-off dinner takes place.
Tip-off dinner is the November 30th at the UH Hilton, and we're really, really excited to honor David Mars.
See, you did it again. You said November 30th.
Oh, October 30th. Well, I'm going to be there at the Hilton on November 30th by myself. October 30th.
October 30th. Oh, okay. I know I said it once, but just for those who don't know, who is David Mars?
David Mars has been a great, just friend of the program, but he played here in the 70s. And he's just been, since we've gotten here, he's just been a champion and someone that we've leaned on. And we're just really excited to kind of turn the spotlight on him for a little bit.
Excellent. Okay, Lauren. Now that's my last
October
question.
October 30th is the tip-off dinner. We're very excited.
Thank you again, and I will see you soon. I'll say it like that.
Texas A&M coming up. So exciting.
Yes.
All right.
All right, Lauren, you take care. Thank you.
You too. Thank you.
Bye-bye. All right. Hope y'all enjoyed that little quick chat with Lauren Sampson. She's great enough to at least once a year join me on the Takeover or any of the other interview formats I have on the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel. Hope you enjoyed that. All right, Rex 32, Miss Wanda, and anybody watching on YouTube, Facebook. As I stated, Big 12 Media Day for Hoops next Tuesday and Wednesday will be on ESPNU and ESPN Plus. Big 12 now on ESPN Plus from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Tuesday, I'll get there hopefully around noon-ish, 12:30-ish. Coach Hughey is scheduled to speak with the media around 1:15 or so. If you haven't seen it, heard it, the clip is obviously posted on the Houston Athletics channel, but also, of course, on the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel. Coach Hughey believes that the team should finish in the top half of the Big 12 conference this season. There's 16 teams in the conference. He said 6th, 7th, or 8th. That should be where the team finishes. Mind you, Rex, Miss Wanda, in the preseason poll, Houston was picked dead last, 16th, by a lot. 27 points for the Coogs. The 15th place team had 51 points. I admire Coach Sampson's optimism. I hope he's right. I really do hope he's right. Prove me wrong and the poll's wrong and everything. I don't see it, especially after the fact that one of their best players, Malia Johnson, is out for the season with a injury, a knee injury. So I'm not sure who's going to fill her, replace her in the rotation, in the lineup, etc. So we'll see. But Layla Blair, Aaliyah Love, and Ashley Chevalier will be in KC on Tuesday for the Big 12 Media Day. And kind of curious to talk to them. Media Day for the Cougs was on Tuesday, this past Tuesday, the 15th. I was there. Packed room. Most of the folks were there for Coach Sampson and the men's team, but the women's team was first. So media got a chance to listen to Layla and Aaliyah Love and then talk to other players in the side room after our press conference in the Jim Nantz media room. But since I'll be seeing them in a few days, I'll ask some questions, hopefully one-on-one with them when I see them in KC. But yes, Malia Johnson suffered an injury, I think Coach Hughey said roughly 10 days ago in practice. I heard about it on Saturday while I was at Coach Sampson's coaches clinic, and had to confirm it, of course. And then Coach Hughey had a press release sent out about it to verify the unfortunate news from Malia Johnson and her knee injury. I'll say this, a couple things. Remember where you're hearing this, here on the Takeover, Houston Roundball Review Takeover. While I was there Saturday at the coaches clinic, I noticed Milos Uzan had a bandage on his nose. Los broke his nose in practice a little while ago. He'll be fine. Okay. But so it was not, difficult to miss it. Big old bandage on his nose. So, but he'll be fine. It's all right. He's fine. Just letting you all know. You just never know what you see and what you learn at things like coaches clinics. So yes, he's learned. I haven't talked to him about how it happened. It really is kind of hush hush. But hey, UH basketball is different. It's physical, So, and that was Saturday. Later on Saturday, I posted it, even though it was made. He announced it earlier Saturday in the morning, I believe. Bryce Jackson, Shadow Creek, 6'6", 205, announced his commitment to the Coogs. Bryce has been injured, battled injuries the last 2 years. I don't believe he's played high school ball since his freshman year at Shadow Creek. Putting this out there, Rex, Miss Wanda, everybody watching, putting it out there in the universe like I did for young Mr. Isaiah Harwell. I hope to speak with Bryce and interview him in the coming days about his commitment to the Coogs. I've spoken with Bryce's dad. We're just trying to fit it into Bryce's schedule. How I do things, folks. 30 years, I'm still unknown. I'm still trying to become famous, get my 15 minutes of fame, but I'm still grinding, pressing forward. If you haven't had a chance, please go to the website, HoustonRoundballReview.com, to read the article I wrote, put together with comments from 4 of my basketball colleagues about Bryce Jackson's skill set and his fit with the Coogs. Bryce's freshman year, he was considered the top player in Houston for the class of 25. Period. Not Shelton Henderson. It was Bryce Jackson. I met Bryce at a UH game his freshman year, talked to him. And Ramon Walker. When I spoke with Ramon, he said, yeah, Bryce is nice. He's legit. That was 2 years ago. That's 3 years ago now. Bryce is getting healthy. He did play some ball, some grassroots summer league competitions a few months ago. And he did well enough that he began getting looks from other programs, other power programs. He was taking visits to other power programs. Coach Kelvin Sampson. Bryce, Bryce had an official visit at UH. Said, Bryce, we like you. We believe in you. We believe you can help you become a better man and a better player. We'd like you to pick the Cougs. Bryce committed to the Cougs last Saturday. Dad is thrilled. So that's, in a nutshell, a little bit how it came about. But yes, I have spoken to Mr. Jackson. Lucius Jackson played at Syracuse. Bryce's grandfather played with the Sixers in the NBA. As part of that 1967 title team for the Sixers. Was more of a bruising player. Bryce has kind of probably a combination of his grandfather's skills and his dad's skills. Physical, probably like his grandpa. He's a better shooter outside, but he can, when he's healthy, he's a 1-2-3 threat. So look forward to that when I do get a chance to speak with him, and I'll post that conversation on the Houston Roundball Review YouTube channel as soon as we hammer out those details. Okay, let me see if I can get this right. Big Thrillo. I'm sure you know about this, but today, Texas Southern, in a few minutes, is holding a ribbon cutting for their new strength and conditioning facility. 6,600 square foot facility located behind the Alexander Durley Stadium on campus. Features brand new weights, weight machines, offices for strength and conditioning staff, and additional space for physical therapy and other services. Here's a picture from the outside of the facility. So kudos to TSU. They got a new strength conditioning facility. They're going to have a new baseball, a softball stadium. So that is excellent for them. And as I say with them, onward and upward for them. It's all about me and this show. The Houston Roundball Review is all about H-Town teams, college and pro. As y'all know, who follow me, support me, I am a proud graduate of the University of Houston. So the show, for the first part of the show, we'll focus on the Coogs. But I will talk about TSU, discuss what's going on with them, Rice, HCU, Prairie View, etc., as often as I can. Because I love H-Town. I love what H-Town teams and the programs, and got to know a lot of the coaches, and they respect me, and respect what I do. And I'm trying to share some of that info about them with you guys here on the Houston Roundball Review Takeover. I'm going to take my 30-second break here, and then when I come back, I'm going to talk about where the Cougs men's team is in the AP poll, Big 12 news in the poll, and something that I hope UH Athletics considers borrowing the idea from an SEC program. You are watching the Houston Roundball Review Takeover of the Lunch Break, sponsored by the Saxenian family. Thank you very much to them and their support. They have been rock stars in their support of the Houston Roundball Review. But the Houston Roundball Review Takeover is streaming live on ROKU via the BS3 Network, BS3 TV, changing the way you watch TV. Here is a little bit about what BS3 TV is all about. Be back in about 35 seconds. You're watching the Houston Roundball Review Takeover of the Lunch Break. I am KG Kris Gardner, owner of the Houston Roundball Review.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
Welcome back to the Houston Roundball Review Takeover of the Lunch Break, sponsored by the Saxenian family and powered by JM&E, streaming live, yes, live, on Roku via the BS3 Network. You're watching this show on Facebook, YouTube, and Roku. If you have a Roku streaming device, just download BS3 TV. If you don't, it's all right. You can just go to BS3network.com or BS3TVLive.com. First half of the show, if you missed it, you can go back and watch it on demand. Lawrence Sampson joined me to discuss the upcoming basketball tip-off for the Cougs and a few other things. And she said some things about some of the players and some of the events and a little tidbit about her mom. It's great. So you can go back and watch that at your convenience. But for the next 25 minutes, you have me sharing some other insight and info. C837. I look forward to the A's in the transcript being out 37 times. Thank you for your support. The literal transcription of C837 will be letter C and then letter A 37 times. AI is great, but it still has a way to go. Thank you very much for your support. I appreciate it as always. And if you want to join CA, click on that $ and you can contribute via that super chat, super sticker, and show your support for the Houston Roundball review. All right, let's see here. Coogs, man, and I'm not going to do this much throughout the season. I'm not big on polls and weekly polls, and that's not me. I'm not the school. I'm not the team. That's for promotion and marketing. But new season, first poll of the season. The Houston Cougars men's basketball team ranked 4th in the AP poll, preseason poll, came out Monday. The Cougs got 4 first-place votes. They've been ranked in the poll 86 consecutive polls, dating back since the 2019-20 season. That is the nation's longest active streak. And I forget who's second, but second, maybe it's Kansas. They're like in the 60s. Cougs been ranked for 86 consecutive weeks, and second longest is like 65, something like that. But this also marks 8 straight seasons under head coach Kelvin Sampson, in which the Cougs were ranked for at least 1 week. Houston also earned its 3rd straight preseason top 10 ranking under Coach Sampson. Monday's poll marked the Cougs' 4th highest AP preseason ranking in school history, trailing only the number 2 ranking in 1967-68 and a pair of number 3 rankings ahead of the 22-23 season and the 83-84 season. The schedule, tidbit right here. This season, Houston will play 11 games against 9 opponents, which were ranked in the AP preseason top 25. Houston's schedule begins with a charity exhibition game against number 13 Texas A&M inside Fertitta Center at 4 o'clock on October 27th. And of course, y'all know I was the first person to publicize and mention that game taking place. From there, the Cougs meet number 11 Auburn in the second game of the doubleheader, the Mattress Firm Battleground 2K24 inside Toyota Center in Houston on November 9th. I'm gonna get back to this info in a minute, but this is a golden era for another golden era of UH men's basketball. What CA says is right. You can't even imagine the team not being ranked. That's how far this program has come under head coach Kelvin Sampson and his staff. I mean, it is just remarkable. And folks, don't take this for granted. Truly, do not. If this is these 8-9 years of excellence, sustained excellence, is your first taste of Houston Cougars men's hoops, enjoy it. Because prior to this, it was a long, long time before the Cougs were good. Long, long time. But this is a golden era of UH men's hoops once again. And this year's team, they're going for it. Guys came back. Juan Roberts, LJ Cryer, they came back because they are going for it. They love their teammates, but they believe this team has a very good chance of winning the national championship and becoming the first national champion for the University of Houston in men's hoops. That would just those young men, if they got that accomplished, their names would be etched in stone on campus in Cougar history forever. Forever. Whichever team finally reaches that mountaintop and wins that first chip for the Cougs, for the University of Houston, those men could go in any restaurant in town and get whatever they want. I mean, I hope that happens. I hope to be alive to see it happen. Because as I've said before, when it does happen, I'm gonna look to my left, look to my right, to my colleagues, take off my credential, and act ignorant. I will run around the campus, run around the court. I will just lose my mind. I want to lose my mind. I want the NCAA folks, Kris, what are you doing? What are you doing? Have you lost your senses? Yes, I have. Yes, I have. Do you see what has that just happened? Yes, I have. Yes, I have. I lost my mind. Yes. Give me this moment. Okay, back to it. Back to the poll. The Cougs will play a pair of top 25 teams during the Players Era Impact Tournament in Vegas. The tournament begins at 7:30 p.m. November 26th against number 2 Alabama and closes against number 25 Rutgers on November 30th. 14 out of 16 Big 12 teams were ranked or receiving votes in the AP preseason top 25 poll, with five among the top 10. Altogether, the Cougars will play 16 games against 13 schools ranked or receiving votes in the preseason AP top 25. And let me see. There you go. This is the AP poll summation. KU, Kansas, was picked first in the AP top 25 preseason men's basketball poll, getting the number one nod on half of the 60 ballots from a national media panel to start the season ahead of Alabama and two-time defending champ UConn. KU scooped up 30 first-place votes. The Crimson Tide earned 14 first-place votes, and UConn received 11 first-place votes and is third. Houston earned 4 first-place votes and is fourth ahead of Iowa State, another Big 12 school. Gonzaga received 1 first-place vote and is sixth. Duke is seventh ahead of Baylor, another Big 12 school. North Carolina and Arizona, a Big 12 school. In the top 10, the new look Big 12, which lost OU in Texas, but welcomed Arizona State, Utah, and Colorado, has 3 of the top 5 and 5 of the top 10 in the poll. That's the first time ever for a conference, any conference. The SEC leads the way with 9 in the top 25. Number 11, Auburn, Tennessee, and A&M start off the second 10, followed by Purdue and Creighton. John Calipari's Arkansas at number 16, with Indiana, Marquette, Texas, and Cincinnati, a Big 12 school, making its first poll appearance since 2019 in the top 20. Florida, UCLA, Kentucky, Ole Miss, and Rutgers round out the preseason top 25. And let me jump to the Big 12 press release of it, and then I'm going to get to the women's poll, talk about their rankings, their preseason rankings. But here it is. Big 12 men's hoops makes history with 5 top 10 teams. A conference record 6 Big 12 men's hoops teams are ranked, including 3 of the top 5 and 5 of the top 10 in the initial AP Top 25 men's basketball poll. The Big 12 is the first conference to have at least 5 teams in the preseason top 10 in the history of the poll, which began releasing a preseason poll in 1961-62. One more time. The Big 12 is the first conference to have at least 5 teams in the preseason top 10 in the history of the poll, Kansas was voted as preseason number 1 for the second straight year and third time in the past 6 years. The Jayhawks, who were picked first in the Big 12 by the league's coaches, begin the year in the pole position for the 5th time in school history. Houston, the 2024 Big 12 regular season champs, nabbed its third consecutive top 10 ranking, checking in at 4. Including the regular season, it is the 86th straight poll that included the Coogs, which is, of course, the nation's longest active streak. Iowa State, which won the Big 12 championship in 24, checks in at 5, making the Big 12 the first league to begin the year with 60% of the top 5, 3 of the top 5, since the Big 10 in 2012-2013. It is the first time since 2015-16 that the Big 12 has had 3 in the top 5 in any poll, regular season or preseason, and the third time in the conference's history. Baylor began the season at 8, and Arizona opens at 10 to complete the quintet of teams in the top 10. It is only the 5th time in poll history that any league has had 5 in the top 10 at any point in the season, and first time since the 2010-11 season. Cincinnati has a preseason ranking for the first time since 2017 and returned to the AP Top 25 at any point of the year for the first time since 2018-2019. 6 teams marked the most for the Big 12 in the preseason poll. 4 additional Big 12 teams received votes: Texas Tech, K-State, BYU, and Arizona. Oh my goodness. I am so excited to see this season. This season of Big 12 basketball will be competitive, will be exciting, will be just excellent. Teams are going to lose games in conference. Fans are going to freak out. What's wrong with my team? Oh, no. Oh, my gosh. Woe is me. It's all over. It's all over. Oh, no. Folks, relax. Relax. And just to any of those fans who are panicking, remind them 5 teams in the top 10 for the first time in the history of the AP poll. That means it ain't ever been done before. 5 of the top 10, 3 of the top 5. Whew. Women's hoops preseason poll. Rex, we know one team not in this poll, but South Carolina is starting the season where it finished off last year, ranked number 1. The Gamecocks received 27 of the 31st place votes in the preseason rankings from a national media panel on Tuesday. South Carolina returns 4 starters from the championship team that went undefeated last year. UConn is 2, USC is 3, and Texas and UCLA round out the top 5. UConn received 2 first-place votes. The Huskies, this is remarkable. Excellence. The Huskies have been ranked in the top 10 in the preseason poll for 30 straight years. One more time. The Huskies, the UConn Huskies, coach Gino Auriemma and his program have been ranked in the top 10 in the preseason poll for 30 straight years. 30 straight years. That's absurd. 30 straight years. USC, the Trojans, who received the other first place vote, have their highest ranking in the preseason since the 82 and 83 squads were number 1 in the opening poll both years. Notre Dame, LSU, Iowa State, Big 12, NC State, and Oklahoma rounded out the first 10 teams in the poll. It's the second time in 3 seasons that the Iowa State Cyclones have started this high in the preseason. The Sooners haven't been ranked this high in the inaugural poll of the season since 2010, when they were also 10th. new conference additions, Texas and Oklahoma, give the SEC 7 teams in the top 25, joining South Carolina, LSU, number 20, Ole Miss, number 22, Kentucky, and Alabama. The ACC and Big Ten each have 6 ranked teams. The Big 12 has 4 teams in the top 25, while UConn and Creighton give the Big East 2. Now, notice how the Big 12 puts a spin on that 4 in the press release. The Big 12 tied for the national lead with 4 of the top 16 teams in the AP Top 25 Women's College Basketball Preseason poll. It marks the first time since 2008 that the league has had 4 teams inside the top 16 of the preseason poll, and just the 3rd time ever for the conference in the AP's preseason poll history. Iowa State led the way at number 8, marking the 2nd time in the last 3 years that the Cyclones have started the season ranked 8th. It is also the 3rd time in the previous 4 years that Iowa State has opened in the top 12. The ranking matches ISU's 2nd highest preseason national mark in program history. Baylor is number 12. The 20th straight season, the Bears have been ranked to start the year. That is remarkable. And it's still 10 years less than UConn's 30. Man. BU finished with 26 wins in 2023-24 while advancing to the NCAA tournament's Sweet 16. K-State, the Big 12 preseason favorite, is number 13 in the poll. It's the Wildcats' 4th time in program history that they've appeared in the preseason poll, and first since 2004-25. It also marks K-State's highest preseason AP ranking since opening the 2003-04 season at number 5. WVU, West Virginia, entered the season at number 16, which is the first time that the Mountaineers have opened a season inside the AP Top 25 since 2017-2018. I want to go back to the questions. CA asked, do I think the signing of Bryce is a sign that some other high-profile prospects are slipping away? Not at all. Not at all. Oh, how should I phrase this? I really want Bryce to, when he's ready, when he talks to me and joins me for our conversation, to provide more context of what I'm going to say. But based on his injuries and recovery from the injuries, I'm not expecting him to play next year, his freshman year. That makes sense? I'm saying it without saying it, out of respect for him. He's still got to recover, get close to 100%, get stronger, work with Coach Alan Bishop, the strength performance coach. So I would not be shocked if Bryce does not play his freshman year. What is that, 25-26 season? So if that's the case, then you still have the Coogs in the running for other elite players. The door is not closed on some of those players. As Isaiah Harwell says in my talk with him, he's still talking to, some of those guys about joining him in Houston. So yeah, the only person I could say the door is closed on is Shelton Henderson. Everybody else is, I think, unless they're committed today, while I'm doing the show, everyone else is still up for grabs. And out of the, what was it, 5 or 6 top 100 players, what 5 top 50? I did not believe the Coogs would get more than 2 of those 50 anyway. I mean, that's a hell of a haul. They got 3 or more. He still could do that, but I think 1 more for sure, and then maybe a 3rd. But again, just another example of how far the program has come. It's just tremendous how far the program, and it's a tremendous sign that the question is being asked. from an interested party about it. Okay, these closing moments, I want to discuss this, and I hope UH takes this idea to heart and heck, involves me in it. Tennessee Volunteers launch exclusive NIL content platform. The Tennessee Volunteers NIL Collective, the volunteer club, has launched its own media platform, Rock Media. The concept behind Rock Media is straightforward but impactful: to offer Tennessee fans high quality, behind the scenes content without any barriers. So for me, as you hear me say this, or you're seeing it on the screen, in my mind, just replace Tennessee Volunteers with Houston Cougars. From exclusive glimpses into Tennessee athletics to candid interviews with current and former players, the network is designed to bring fans closer to the heart of the action and the athletes they admire. Rock Media is also set to host several podcasts, including a series in which current athletes will be interviewed, and 2 more shows still in development. All these will be available on popular podcast platforms like Spotify and Apple. Adam Brenneman, co-founder of the College Sports Company, is steering the ship, having successfully navigated traditional media and digital content creation. Brenneman is convinced this new approach is in sync with the evolving sports media landscape. We believe in going directly to the consumer. Quote, paywalls just don't make sense for us, Brenneman told Sports Business Journal. Our goal is to be the go-to spot for fans to connect with their favorite players and simultaneously create opportunities for brands to engage with athletes to promote their products, end quote. And the way they're doing that, companies advertising on the platform, on the channel, on the podcast, all those things. Brenneman said they were close to getting 6-7 figure deals for this platform. Can you imagine Houston Athletics being part of that, creating their own platform, providing their own direct way for fans to be involved, feel connected to their program with their favorite players, and generate money for the collective? It's like a no-brainer to me. They should do that. And heck yeah, I would like to be a part of it. I mean, it's obvious to me. Speaking of Liberty, boy, Sabrina Ionescu, hell of a shot. Young lady came through clutch down the stretch. Clutch. In that step back 3-pointer she hit to win game 3 for the Liz, put them up 2-1. That's a hell of a shot. Good defense, better offense. I think it's going 5. I think Minnesota is going to win Friday in game 4, going to force game 5 in New York on Sunday. And then who knows? 2 of these first 3 games of this WNBA Finals series, the team that led by double figures in the first quarter lost. Liberty led by double digits, game 1, lost. Lynx led by double digits, game 3, and lost. But speaking of 2 of their star players, Minnesota's Nafisa Collier, New York's Breanna Stewart. We're making some news. TNT Sports and Unrivaled reached a multi-year media partnership starting in January 2025. TNT Sports and the Pro Women's League Unrivaled have reached a multi-year media rights partnership to exclusively present live game coverage on TNT and True TV, along with all games being streamed on Max, beginning with the league's inaugural season. The agreement will feature more than 45 primetime matchups 3 nights a week across TNT Sports platforms, with twice weekly games on TNT as a lead network on Mondays and Fridays, and additional broadcasts on True TV on Saturdays. Unrivaled live game action will tip off January 17th, 2025. As part of the media rights partnership, TNT Sports has agreed to invest an undisclosed amount in Unrivaled. It's 3-on-3 basketball. Unrivaled is co-founded by Nafisa Collier and Brianna Stewart. Features 30 of the top women's hoopers across 6 teams for a compressed, full-court style of play, delivering the most entertaining and competitive form of the sport for fans. With this agreement, Unrivaled has sustained stability and financial security for all players and stakeholders. In-depth Unrivaled highlights and additional content will be distributed across all TNT Sports platforms, including Feature Support, House of Highlights, Highlight Her, and more. Unrivaled and TNT Sports will partner with Media Pro North America to support all audio and visual production components of each game, creating exceptional viewing experiences on TNT and True TV for audiences at home. Here is an example of how the court's going to look. Check that out. That's the court, an example of the court game taking place in Miami. I think it's a 9-week schedule. 3-on-3, 3x3. I don't want to say 3x3, but whatever. But it's a better opportunity. The pay is better. It's going to be, I think, the highest paying salaries for the women's players in women's basketball, in pro basketball. Hope it goes well. Kind of curious to see if it'll take away from any of the success of women's college hoops. But hey, I'm all for supporting women's basketball, and I'll like to be part of it any way I can. That'll wrap it up. Thank you, everybody. CA, Rex, CA, of course, for your super chat, super sticker contribution. I think it's going to be half court, 3-on-3 half court. But I'm looking forward to it, seeing what it's like. But as always, thank you, everybody, for watching this edition of the Houston Roundball Review Takeover, sponsored by the Saxenian family, powered by JM&E. You're seeing going across the screen ways to support the Houston Roundball Review via the Cash App, Zelle, and or PayPal. As always, thank you for taking time out of your lunch schedule to join me on the Takeover. And keep this in mind, since 1994, the Houston Roundball Review. Local name, global perspective. Everyone, take care. Peace.
It's Sybil Wilkes with what you need to know. Today, it's Thursday, October 17th, 2024. Number 1, Georgia voters set a new all-time record the very first day of early voting. Meanwhile, Fulton County Judge Robert McBurney blocked a rule requiring ballots to be counted by hand, citing potential delays and disruptions. His ruling also reaffirmed that election officials are legally obligated to certify results even while investigating potential fraud allegations. Number 2, despite recent U.S. government investments in AI, private companies are advancing faster in innovation and scale. The Department of Defense and Homeland Security allocated $700 million toward AI projects, but Microsoft alone invested over $10 billion in OpenAI. This funding gap raises concerns about the government's ability to regulate AI as private sector advancements continue to outpace oversight efforts. Number 3, nearly 10 million pounds of ready-to-eat meat and chicken products sold at major stores like Trader Joe's, Wegmans, Kroger, and Target are being recalled. Bruce Pack issued the recall after the USDA found Listeria monocytogenes in their pre-cooked chicken. The recall includes pre-made salads, burritos, and frozen meals, some with expiration dates extending into 2025 and 2026. Number 4, it's Black Voters Matter Thursday, and as we said earlier, early voting in Georgia began October 15th, setting a new record with over 300,000 ballots cast on the first day. This turnout more than doubled the 2020 record of 136,000 voters, according to Gabriel Sterling, the COO for Georgia's Secretary of State's office. Despite Hurricane Helene's disruptions, voting started on time in all 159 counties, with absentee ballots delivered as planned. Number 5. In recent years, hip-hop artists like DaBaby, Meg Thee Stallion, and G Herbo have tackled the stigma surrounding mental health. DaBaby introduced the DaBaby Cares Mental Health 101 Toolkit at West Charlotte High School, where over 700 students participated. Developed in memory of DaBaby's late brother, the initiative aims to provide mental health resources and create safe spaces for young people. Here's your daily inspiration from Yogi's Jewels. Staying honest in all situations reflects strong character and integrity. Join me today live on YouTube and Facebook at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central with our mental health and wellness contributor, Aprilette Russell, as we discuss the day's top headlines and more. I'm Sybil Wilkes. Be informed, be empowered.